Hi guys, this is Ranjit and welcome to the last tech Q&A session for 2023. Yes, this is for the December 2023 and I hope you guys are actually doing well. So we've got a variety of questions and initial part of the Q&A will be a lot of smartphone related questions, but in the later part of the Q&A I have some very interesting other type of questions also, and last some solar related questions also because some of you have asked me. In fact, guys, in the last Q&A many of you have asked me to make a dedicated video regarding my solar plant. That's the on-grid plant and even the off-grid plant. Now actually my off-grid plant is also very active. In fact, this entire office is now running on the off-grid plan setup. Actually the grid connection is out, but still I'm able to run it. I'll try to make videos on this one, dedicated videos, because I feel I'll have to make multiple videos regarding the solar setup and stuff, because a lot of things that when you go to while installing solar, the manufacturers or the provider where you go does not tell you, and they'll install whatever they want. So I'll try to make a series of videos. Hopefully I'll do that. And I think so for most of you, people are still asking me on-grid or off-grid. I would say if you have an electrical connection already and you have the net metering facility, go with the on-grid. It's a lot more simpler. I would say off-grid will cost a lot more because the batteries are simply very expensive. Anyways, let's jump to the Q&A section, and the first question that I got was from Rupam Chaudhary. He's asking, suppose you have two cameras in a smartphone. Apart from the main 1x lens, what do you prefer? He says these two choices that we have. A is a 3x zoom capability. Second is a wide angle with picture quality like the main sensor. If I have had to have only two camera sensors, of course I'll have the main one. And the second one, instead of the zoom, personally for me, ultra wide makes a lot of sense because I have seen in some areas where I just wanted to capture a lot more of the area. The ultra wide did make a lot of sense. These days, the main camera sensors have become so good that even if you do that pinch to zoom up to about 2-3x easily, you can get away without having a lot of artifacts. So for me, I've only took two cameras. One is the main good camera and the second a good ultra wide lens. Next, this is from Mr. Brishin. He says, good morning. Please give your pick between the S21 Fe 2023 edition or the Nothing Phone 2. Also about the upcoming phone launches. A lot of new smartphones will be launching, especially if you're looking for flagships. You know, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 smartphones will be coming. iQOO would be the first one to launch, I would say, with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 sometime in December itself. But for you, between the S21 Fe 2023 edition or the Nothing Phone 2, I would clearly say still the Nothing Phone 2 simply makes more sense because of the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. SoC is far better compared to the SoC on the S21 Fe. That's my frank opinion. Yes, I would say the only thing is that Nothing Phone 2 still in the camera, sometimes the camera optimizations are not to the peak, so sometimes it's a hit or a miss. But overall, if I have to pick one device, I would say the Nothing Phone 2 will get my vote. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Mayank. He says, I own the Pixel 7 Pro and frequently face issues related to hardware. Looking to change, which can be an ideal phone to upgrade in an Android ecosystem. I would say, as you're already using a Pixel, your expectations are pretty high. So I would say you can have a look at Samsung's range of smartphones. The new S24 series will be launching very, very soon. Apart from that, last year, I also like the OnePlus 11. The OnePlus 11 was a very balanced smartphone, I would say. The pricing also was right. So I also have a little bit more high expectations with the OnePlus 12, but let's see what do they do. But Samsung has been pretty active with the updates, and now the new One UI is also very, very polished. So I would say, yeah, that would be the pick. If budget is not an issue. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Rakesh. As you said, we are almost at the end of the year. Which is your pick for the best smartphone of 2023? IMO S23 Ultra is the best. Again, it's a personal preference. What is your favorite smartphone of 2023? And which is the non-best smartphone gadget that you loved using this year? Overall, I would say yes, the S23 Ultra is a very good phone and a lot of people will like it. But I personally do not like very, very big, huge phones. So I would say the S23 Plus might be ideal. But again, if you're okay with very big size phones and you require that S Pen, yes, definitely the S23 Ultra makes a lot of sense. Apart from that, again, if your priority is only the rear facing camera, not the front facing camera, I also like the Xiaomi 13 Pro. I feel that had the best rear facing camera because I get to play around with a lot of smartphones. I enjoyed that the best, I would say. Luckily, I would say this year the new Pixel range, this is the Pixel 8, also is good. Yes, this does heat up a little bit more compared to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipsets any day. But again, it's not a deal breaker heating or something like that. Now I've used this for more than 2 months, dropped it 2-3 times also accidentally. And this is a far better device, I would say, Pixel 8 overall compared to the Pixel 7 series. So these are my picks. Apart from that, which is the best non-smartphone gadget that you loved using this year? For me, it'll be two. One is my solar system that I've installed. I've installed both the on-grid 5 kilowatt and even the off-grid system. This actually entire office is working on the off-grid system. I just love it. Running everything on green power without the electricity connection. It's just a great feeling that you are getting. So that will be the second best tech gadget that I've used this year a lot is my BenQ projector. That's the X3001 projector. Have been using it a lot, and now it's more than 6-7 months, still loving it. The picture quality is amazing on the colors that it produces. Oh my god. In fact, I had posted video about it. I'll leave the link in the description if you guys want to check it out. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Narsimha. Can we expect a huge change in mobile phone technology in the near future? Now the design is the same for almost all phones. Do foldable phones become affordable in the future? Yes. If you look at the design, I feel this candy bar design that we call the slab design is the most ideal for smartphone because this gets a lot of things right. Yes, foldables, I would say, have a market. This is the Fold 5. I have this, I would say. But again, I don't think so the folds will become as popular as the regular candy form factor because these are definitely slightly more bulky also. And again, unless you are a hardcore user, this simply does not make sense in my frank opinion. So yes, the foldables will have a space, but I think so it's not going to overtake the regular form factor. This is just great, I would say. For example, a car runs on 4 wheels and it's ideal. That's it, like that. Pricing, I would say the foldables will come down, but don't expect a drastic price difference. I would say drastic reduction of pricing. It will reduce the price eventually, but it will take a long time. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Chaitanya. What's your pick? It's a matter for me to decide regarding a car which is more beneficial, that is a petrol versus diesel engine in Hyderabad city driving. I would personally pick a petrol car because I know for a fact that the diesel engines actually pollute a lot more, and I am all in for environmental friendly options. So if you have to pick a ICE engine, for me personally it would be a petrol engine, I would say. Yeah, EV would be the best, but again, between your choice between a diesel and a petrol, I would always go for a petrol. In fact, in our family, we have been very conscious. We had one old diesel car, we had disposed it off about 4 years ago. So we no longer have any diesel cars in our family now. Between the iPhone 15 Pro Max versus the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, he says requirements at least for 4 years, photos more than videos overall. So if, as you're telling that you take photos more and video is not a very high priority, then I feel the Samsung S23 Ultra gives you a lot more flexibility because of that 10x zoom. If you really want to zoom, I personally don't use that 10x zoom a lot, but I know if you have that requirement, then the S23 Ultra goes ahead. And in regular photographs, it is actually pretty good. I would say sometimes much better than the 15 Pro. Neck to neck, yes, video, the 15 Pro Max goes ahead. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Nirmal Das. He says he's confused between the OnePlus 11 versus the S23 versus the Nothing Phone 2. Camera is not my utmost priority. He says, I want something that's stable and can last for 3 or 4 years without any big issues. Currently using the Nothing Phone 1, but the battery life seems to have gotten worse over time. I would personally say, forget about the Nothing Phone 2 because the OnePlus 11 and the S23 just have a slightly better chipset. So it will age a lot better, I would say. I really like the OnePlus 11. This year, I feel OnePlus, after all their goof ups that they did with the OnePlus 9 series, OnePlus 10, the OnePlus 11, the regular one, with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, was a very good phone. So you can definitely go with that. You can also go with the S23, but again, I think so. S23 is not the real competitor to that. S23 Plus is the real competitor to that. So if budget is not an issue, you can go with the S23 Plus. But I feel for that price point, the OnePlus 11 has the best value. Yes, updates, I would rate Samsung slightly better and polished, I would say, compared to the OnePlus. But again, still, the OnePlus UI is actually good. Anyways, moving on to the next one. This is by Jigar. S23 Ultra at 1 lakh on Flipkart with card discount. A good deal at this time, or wait for the S24 series? See, the S24 Ultra, whatever, it's going to come out sometime in January or end of January, something, definitely by Feb, we'll have it. The pricing will be a lot higher, I would say. If you notice, Samsung has been slowly increasing the pricing of their flagships. S23 Ultra, as of now, 1 lakh, I feel is slightly on the higher side. When the S24 Ultra comes down, it should drop down a little bit more, I would say. So you can wait and see, but definitely the price gap between the S23 Ultra and the S24 Ultra will be significant, at least 20K in my frank opinion, 20 or even it might be 8. But still, if you're getting a very good deal for the S23 Ultra, still the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is a gem of a processor. Overall, a very good phone if you take advantage of the S Pen and you need that zoom capabilities. This is by Anirudh. He's asking, what are your thoughts about the upcoming iQOO 12 and OnePlus 12? iQOO has said no bloatware this time in the UI. I'm also looking forward to the iQOO 12. Let's see when we have it about the bloatware. If they reduce the bloatware or remove the bloatware, it will be a great thing, because that was one thing that was lacking on the iQOO phones. So let's, keeping my fingers crossed. I'm supposed to get the review of the iQOO 12. So if I get it on time, I'll definitely be covering that. OnePlus 12, let's see, keeping my fingers crossed, because overall what OnePlus did with the OnePlus 11 was a good thing last year. I hope they continue the trend. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Sachin. How efficient is Jio Air Fiber when it rains heavily or when there is high traffic? Will speed latency drop? Which band does Air Fiber use? Do they use millimeter wave? Is it worth to install Jio Air Fiber? Are you planning a video on it? Sachin, sadly, though I have applied for the Jio Air Fiber about 2 months ago, and they even charge 100 rupees registration fee or whatever, still the installation hasn't been done. Once some Jio official called me that you are on a priority, we'll get the connection done, but that never happened. So it's over 2 months and the connection has not been done. So I don't know, man, if I have a problem, will they resolve it? Even for installing a connection, they're taking so much time, giving excuses like this. So I don't know. I don't have that much confidence as of now with Jio Air Fiber, seeing how much they are delaying the basic installation also. Tomorrow, let's say if it has some problem or whatever, they'll just vanish, I think so. So let's see. I am now heard that, what is that, Airtel also has that Air Fiber or something, is also active in a lot of cities and also will be coming to Hyderabad or already has come. So I think so I'll apply for that and see how it goes, because for me personally, Jio Air Fiber, and I had tweeted about also about 2 months ago, though I have paid it, still installation was not done. This is by Mr. Patel. He's asking, do colors on Sony camera are still bad compared to Canon? I think so. Mr. Patel is asking about DSLR cameras for video recording, for example, like what we are doing. Mr. Patel, I would say, to be very frank, out of the box, the cameras, the skin tones that you will get on Canon are better. But Sony's are also not bad. This I'm actually shooting with the Sony. This is the A7C that I'm shooting, and you have to tweak the basic color profile a little bit. You can do that in 1 or 2 hours. I would say now, though I've used I already have some Sony cameras, I can do it in 10 minutes and dial exactly what I want. But out of the box, still I would say Canon is slightly better. But Sony cameras are not bad. Once you dial in, for example, I have dialed the settings, adjusted the contrast less, and one more setting on this camera, and now I don't have to do any color grading or anything like that on this one. I just footage, what you see is what the camera is directly recording. So you will have to work initially a little bit to get the colors right, but it is definitely possible. And I feel Sony that way offers a lot more in terms of price, value, and the options that it offers. Canon, for some reason, I gave up on Canon. Though I had all Canon DSLR gear from past 10 years, I gave up on it because they were acting like Apple. Even for a small feature or something, you had to bump up. Let's say I had a budget of 2 lakhs, I had to bump up to the cameras of 4.5 lakh. Then recording limits were there, heating issues were there. Those are not there on Sony camera. So I would say definitely yes, out of the box, Canon colors are still the best, at least for our Indian skin tone. Sony, you'll have to work it a little bit, but I think so a couple of hours, or if you're new to Sony camera, it might take a day or two to tweak it. But once you're done, you just leave it and just start recording. It does the job. This is by Hari. Do the latest TVs require stabilizers? Are stabilizer gimmicks for TVs? If not, please suggest one for the 55-inch TV. Okay, Hari, I'll give you my personal experience. For example, this is with my dad. In a year, actually, I had to change his 3 TVs. And I was also very, very confused. 3 TVs got damaged. And one of them was my own TV that I had used for about 3.5 years without any issues. I just gave it to him again after the 2 TVs conked off. And within 2 months, that TV also conked out. And we realized that he was just plugging in the power directly to the wall outlet without any power filtering. And now, again, I had to change his TV. Now I have given him another of my own TVs. But now the power is going via a UPS. And now it's been, over almost 3 years now, and that TV is still working fine. So definitely, yes, we do still sadly do have power fluctuations in India, spikes and stuff. So you need something like a good stabilizer or a UPS. That's the simple reason that many of the electronic gadgets that I have don't get conked off, whereas I've seen my cousins and others, they do get conked off quickly within 3-4 years. So ideal, I would say, to have a good stabilizer. I actually, some of my TVs, I do have a V-Guard stabilizer. So that was okay, I would say. Right now, I have a very big UPS right now, this off-grid system. It's a 5 kilowatt. So everything, all critical loads actually run via that. So basically, it's stabilizing and giving me pure power. But definitely, if it's expensive equipment that I'm having, I will not put it on raw power. It's just playing with fire. One day, one stupid spike comes, some lightning happens, something happens, big chance your TV will get conked off. At least if you're not putting a stabilizer, put at least a spike buster or something. But definitely put a stabilizer, because I had a bad experience. Within a year, I had to change 3 TVs for my dad. This is by Tanzil. He's asking, can you please explain why ARM-based Windows laptop is becoming a thing now? Why are companies like Qualcomm, MediaTek, etc. rushing towards PC chips? What is the difference between an x86 and an ARM chip? How will choosing an ARM be beneficial? It all comes down to power. ARM chips are just way more efficient compared to the x86 architecture. Though the new x86 architecture has improved quite a bit. For example, recently I was testing one of the new Intel 13th generation chips, and the power draw on that one is a lot lower than earlier Intel chips and the AMD chips. But still, if I compare it with ARM laptops like the MacBook Air or the MacBook Pro that I have, which are running on ARM, they simply cannot match the power efficiency of this one. That's why these Macs, etc., get that insane 12 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours of battery life. In real world, I'm not talking about theoretical. And power efficiency makes a lot of difference. For example, when you're even pushing a chip, it will simply not heat up that much. So that is the reason everybody wants a thinner laptop that lasts for a full day. That's how the trend is. So that's why companies like Qualcomm, MediaTek, etc. are jumping into this one. And Windows also has to actually work a lot. I would say, yes, we will be seeing a lot of new laptops with the new, ARM chips, even for Windows. But I hope Windows has done all the optimization and all the apps need to run seamlessly. End of the story, I would say, ARM chips are a lot more efficient compared to the x86. It's just because of the architecture, how it is. This is by Rajit Throw. He's asking, hope your health is better now. Yes, a lot better, I would say. Working. That's the reason I was not posting a lot of videos. My health was taking a toll, so I had reversed myself. The first big priority for me was my health, I would say. Now I would say I'm feeling a lot better. I would say I'm the most fittest in the last 5 years as of now, but still I haven't achieved the targets that I have. Hopefully we'll be able to do that, and then I will start working a lot more on the videos. But you should expect a little bit more videos now moving forward. Okay, he's asking about the Garmin smartwatch. Are Garmin smartwatch better than Apple? Which one do you recommend in the mid-range? Less than 30K. Usage is for daily routine steps, heart rate, not for running and others. See, as you're telling, you're not going to do hardcore activities with your Garmin, just basic steps and heart rate. Then you can go with an Apple Watch. I would say Garmin is for people who are really serious about their health, running and all that. I am using a Garmin. This is the Epix 2. But the good thing with the Garmin is that even if you go a basic Garmin, the basic software and the features are almost the same. That's what I like about the Garmin. So you can even go with the Vivo range or whatever, that are priced like 25,000-30,000, and you'll get almost the same feature. But the thing, if you're serious about your health and fitness and the amount of tracking what actually the Garmin does is incredible. For example, it continuously, I actually wear this even in my sleep, so it continuously tracks. And in fact, when I'm doing joggings and runs and all these things, it analyzes your body state, and it will give you what do you say, if you go in the menus, it will say, okay, today don't run that much, or it say today you push yourself and stuff like that. So that way, if you're really into your health thing and all those things, then it will push you and help you really. But if you're not, if you're just doing routine basic steps and basic heart rate tracking and all those things, then you can actually go with an Apple smartwatch if you prefer that. The big advantage I would say this Garmin has over the Apple Watch is that this one gives me about 14 days of battery life, whereas an Apple smartwatch you'll have to charge it every day. So that's what if you're just looking for a basic smartwatch, I would say go with an Apple one. But if you're really serious about your health, I was really serious about my health, and actually Garmin actually has helped me to gain back my health, because it was tracking a lot of things. In fact, this watch started warning me a couple of months ago, before I was not feeling well, that my health statistics were going down. I didn't pay attention to it, but now it is helping me. But again, if you're not serious about it, just go with an Apple Watch or anything. Those also give you a lot of metrics. This is by Abhi. He says, tech has matured in phones, watches, ACs, fans, TV, whatever, cars, gaming, whatever. Nothing is new or incredibly exciting anymore. Do you see any tech areas emerging like where phones were 20 years back? Robots are far away. VR is janky. I do agree. Yeah. In terms of hardware, we are actually reaching saturation point, the best form factors that we have on a smartphone. But I feel there are a lot of improvements that are happening, and the big change would be the introduction of AI within these tools. To give you a very simple example, why I love carrying this Pixel 8, and these days why do I shoot most of the casual videos with Pixel 8 is that when I'm out, is because of some of the AI features. For example, when you're recording video with this one, it has so aggressive AI noise cancelling that even if there is a drilling person who's drilling about 20 feet away from you and you record your video, that drilling sound won't come. Again, watch the video of the Pixel 8 where I demonstrated that, and I was also amazed with that. So features like this, where AI will help you get a lot more, are the future, I would say. And this we are going to see getting incorporated in a lot of new devices in the next 2-3 years. And it will actually, if it's done well, it is going to be having a big impact. It's just not about the raw processing power. This today it's 2 gigahertz chip, 2.5, but what the AI capabilities can transform a phone. So those are the things that I'm excited about. Raw hardware stuff, not that much. Augmented reality, AR, is a thing that I have a lot of expectation, but as of now, still it's in the infancy stage. I would say that will take a little bit. It has to be a lot more easier to use. People don't like having funky stuff, everything. You just can't wear it and go everywhere. So still space to all. But AI is something that we are going to see in a lot of new devices in the next couple of years, and hopefully they get it right. If they get it right, it's just transformational, I would say. This is by Ubaid. Can we trust the reliability of processors like MediaTek for long-term use, especially in terms of performance and heat management? Or would you suggest sticking to Qualcomm processor? Also, thoughts on the Poco F5 versus the Moto H40? I would say I'll go with the Moto H40 just because of slight reliability. Earlier, some of the Poco phones had a lot of motherboard issues. That's my only otherwise the Poco F5 is a good phone. Regarding reliability of MediaTek chipsets, you don't have to worry. The new MediaTek chipset, for example, from past 2 years, the Diamond City ones are actually really, really good. Also, in terms of power efficiency, they are very, very good. That's the reason that in many of the mid-range smartphones, companies are not opting for Qualcomm chips and going with the MediaTek chips. The old MediaTek was a very, very different company. The new MediaTek chips are actually very, very. The only place where I would suggest not to go with MediaTek chips is that if you're into custom ROMs and stuff like that, then Qualcomm is better. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by OHSIP, whatever. He says, as a resident of Hyderabad, this is a solar related question. Since you are using 100% green energy at your home, after the hot season is done, how many times do you use your AC? And how much kilowatt solar do we require to power up an entire 2 BHK? I'm planning to do for my newly built home. I would say, for example, for this studio, this is on the top floor, and not only in summers, of course I have to use the AC, I can't sit, but even right now the AC is actually running. So I use the AC in this room almost throughout the year when I'm working, especially when I'm doing video recording and stuff, because I have to close all the windows, so yeah, it runs. Regarding your query of how much power do you require for a 2 BHK? I would say the easiest thing you can do is look at your last 1 year of electricity bills and divide it by 12. Let's say you have consumed whatever, let's say 5,000 units or whatever, divide that by 12. So that's the average number of kilowatt that you are consuming in a month. Add a little bit to that. So that is the requirement that you have. I would say anywhere from for a 2 BHK depends, because it will also depend anywhere from I would say 3 to 5 kilowatt is very, very good enough for a 2 BHK. Again, you have to do the maths, I would say. But if it's on-grid connection, you don't have to worry. Even let's say in summer or something, let's say a couple of months, your requirement is slightly higher. Let's say your solar plant that you have put is a 4 kilowatt plant, but you're running 3 ACs and whatever, and the peak requirement that is 5 kilowatts. Don't worry. If your solar plant is able to produce 3.5 kilowatt, that 1.5 kilowatt is going to be pulled from the grid. So you don't have to be exactly like that. But rough ball figure, I would say 3 to 5 kilowatt is more than enough, in my frank opinion. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is again a solar related question. This is by Devraj. Sir, discuss about Tata Solar also. The thing is that Tata Solar is just a installer. Tata Solar does not manufacture their own solar panels or solar inverters. So yes, it's a good company, I would say, and if you want a solar installation, you can go with Tata Solar Solutions, but just remember that it's just rebranding. They are just installers. The solar panels are not made by Tata Solar, or the inverters are also not made by Solar The only thing I noticed with Tata Solar is that the pricing is slightly on the higher side compared to some of the competition. That's what I've noticed. But again, it's a very reliable company, I would say. You know that Tata Solar, today it's there, even after 15 years it will be there. That is very important if you're going for an on-grid solar connection, because that will last for 20-25 years, and you want it to be installed with a provider that is there in the market. Let's say your system has a problem after 10 years. You went with somebody new because he was offering you a good rate. That's not a good idea. So for on-grid connections, I would say go with the provider that is reliable and you know in your area and has been there in the industry for quite some time. So that way you can definitely go with Tata Solar. It is we know that Tata will not go anywhere after 15-20 years or whatever. But what I've noticed is that some of the quotes that some of my friends also have installed in this society, the quotes that we have got from Tata Solar were slightly higher compared to some of the other quotes that we were getting. For example, for the same price, what I have the on-grid connection, I got a mono PERC panels which are more efficient, actually more expensive. They produce a lot more power, a little bit more power, and even cloud areas they're better. But for the same price, though the Tata Solar were also giving 5 kilowatt solution, but they were using poly panels which are considerably cheaper. So there are some things that you need to be aware of if you're going with them. But overall, yes, if you are okay paying that slight premium, you can definitely go with Tata Solar. Anyways, guys, that's it for now for this tech Q&A session. And if you guys are still not subscribed to this YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. In 2024, I will be posting a lot more interesting videos. It's not just about smartphones and stuff. Yes, I will be covering important smartphones, but I will also be covering a lot of interesting technologies that we actually use in the house. Some of the stuff that I have been using for years, and that does make sense. So it'll be actually pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to the next year, because on my channel it won't be just smartphones, but a lot of other interesting stuff that I use, and I feel it'll be helpful to a lot of home automation stuff, a lot of stuff, man. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.